All right, so I have my Honda CRF 300 Rally here. Rally. This is the 300 Rally ABS. So I have it on the rear pit bull stand. You can see it's completely lifted off the wheel. Spins, obviously right here. And I have to lift it off the front stand as well. Or it's being held on the rear stand. And the front stand is not holding it. The front stand, how I know it's not holding it? Right there. If this thing was squatted down, it would be hitting the this bottom piece, but it's not. Right? It's obviously it is hitting the front piece, but that's not holding it up, right? So what I want to do here is I actually want to actually measure the height here. Let's move this zip tie aside. So let me measure this full length here. Measure this full length here from the bottom of the let's back this up a little bit. From the bottom of the seal here to the bottom here, this full length is, let me get my head down on the same level. Oh Jesus. Man. Oh. Oh geez. Oh my God, I'm getting lightheaded. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, this room is spinning. Oh, what the fuck? Oh shit. Oh man, the room is spinning for like 30 seconds there. Holy shit. Okay, now I'm good. So this one is like 10 inch and that's a half, it's a quarter, just over 10 inch and 1/8. Just about 10 inch and 1/8. 10 inch and 1/8. Well, actually, maybe just over 10 inch and 1/8. If I was doing that in millimeters, let's see on this side. Is hard to read millimeters on this side. Unless I do it this other way. Unless I do it this way on this side. Do it on this side. Oh, oof, shit. Oh shit, my head's spinning again. God damn it. Now I'm getting out of shape. I need to start getting back in shape. Okay, so this one shows, let's see, 60, no, 258 looks like. 250, no, 259, 258, 259, somewhere around there. Somewhere around 258 or 259. I think it's closer to 258. So around 258 or 259 millimeters. I think it's closer to 258. So 258 millimeters on the length here, or basically 10 inch and 1/8. So actually 10 inch and 1/8 is about 258. Or just under 258. All right, so again, that's the front end fully jacked up. So let me lower this down. So you see it. So what I want to do, actually I need to, oh geez, my head's getting lightheaded again. Man, that tells me my blood pressure is not right. I need to go to the doctor and see what my numbers are. I haven't been to the doctor in like, geez, 7 years now, I think. And I'm getting old too. I'm in my midlife already. Let's see. So I'm gonna what I want to do, because this front end here, because of this rack or this chock or wheel choke, I call it choke, it's lifting the front wheel up about half an inch. I'm gonna put this block here so that way it's a little bit more even. You know, this block is actually 3/4 of an inch, but you know, this is what I got. I don't, you know, they actually don't make any. I don't think they make anything that's half inch. This one is actually considered 1 inch. By the numbers is 1 inch, but the actual number is half inch, because that's the raw cut, or that's the what do they call that? The rough planing is 1 inch. Then when it smooths out the surface planing, it takes off a little bit more, so it becomes 3/4 of an inch. So let me lift this up. just a little bit. Even though this is bigger than, you know, like I said, it's bigger than a half inch by 1/8. It's still closer to, you know, the difference is still closer than compared to, say, leaving this thing on the ground, leaving the tire on the ground. Okay, so so now the bike is, you know, sitting on its own weight now. Let's see how much this thing compressed. Let's do that in millimeters. Let's keep it in millimeters. Oops, that's size inches. This has millimeters. What was it before? It was geez, now I can't remember. 10 and 1/8, I think it was. Yeah, 10 and 1/8. So basically, it was 258. 258 before, fully extended. Now it's at 220, 21, 20, just shy of 22. Actually, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to squat the suspension down real quick. You should always do this. You should always squat the suspension down, just because of the stiction. The stiction in the seals, it could give you a false reading by a few millimeters. So when you squat it down a few times, it'd be more accurate. Oh, see now it changed. Now it's at 210 millimeters. So it changed by, like, you know, was it like 12 millimeters or something like that? So 210. So that's a little bit more accurate reading. So 210. Before it was what was it? 258. 210 to 258. That's almost 50 millimeters. That's 48 millimeters less. 48 millimeters less. And this suspension here on Honda's website, it says, I think it says 10.2, but that's actually incorrect. 10.2 is in the back. The axle travel and the wheel travel, the axle travel is actually 10.2 is in the back, but the front is actually 9.2. You know, at least according to the service manual. The service manual says 9.2, and I actually have the service manual. I just got it a few days ago. So it's 9.2. Where now is that? What was it again? Fully extended was right here. Then now it's at 210, I think it was again. 210. So that's 48 millimeters. 9.2 millimeters is, let's bring this down so you guys can see this. Oops. God dang it. Jeez. What the heck happened right there? That's what happens when I hit the gimbal. Every time I hit the gimbal, it does something funny. So fully extended was at 258, which is right there at my thumb. Right there at my thumb, 258. Then on its own weight is at 210, which is right there. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 48 millimeters. Yeah, 48 millimeters less. And this thing is supposed to have 99.2 inches of travel, which is just under 9.25. So 9.25 is right here, which is right there. So 9.2 is probably a little bit less than that. So total, it has like, of travel, it has 230, let's say 233. 233 minus 48. Let's go right here, minus 48. So that's basically almost 50. So shy of 50. So they could go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, wait a minute. So we'll go to 8, or actually just under 8. Just shy of 50 is what we say, let's say 85. So we'll go to 85 millimeters. So from, excuse me, 185 millimeters, 185. So from 238, no, excuse me, not 38, 33, 233 to 185. What's the percentage there? How much of a difference is that? That difference right there, that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, what is it? A little bit over 4, almost 4.5 times. So that's actually squatting wise, that's only about 20%, or somewhere between 20 and 25% sag on its own weight. If I sit on it, let's see how much that would be. So that's where I have the zip tie up here. So let's see, how am I gonna do this by myself? That's why I have the zip tie. Let's see if this is gonna work. I'm not sure how well this is gonna work, so I'm gonna put the zip tie all the way up, obviously. Put the zip tie all the way up. I'm gonna go sit on it. I actually need to squat down, then pull the zip tie up. What do I have that I can pull the zip tie up? I don't have anything that can pull the zip tie back up when I'm sitting on the bike. Shoot. Yeah, I don't have anything that can pull it up, because if I reach down for it, if I reach down, it would, the reading will squat even more, because now I'm even more front heavy. So that's okay. Let's try this without me squatting, or without doing that bounce. Normally I would do that bounce, but let's not do that bounce, and let's see what happens. Oh shit! Oh, what the hell? The bike almost fell over. The bike was totally on its side. Literally almost fell over. I didn't even notice that. Oh shit. Okay. Try to straighten it back out again. I think it's not I think the bike's actually not lined up. Yeah, it's not lined up. It's not lined up with the wheel choke. Oh, you know why I almost fell over? Yeah, that's right. It's not lined up with the wheel choke. Move it over just a little bit. Hopefully it's lined up with the wheel choke, so that way it's more straight and more accurate reading, or more accurate measurement, I should say. Okay, so I'm gonna squat on the well, I'm gonna sit on, I should say, not squat on. Sit on the bike, and hopefully I can get a proper reading. So let me lift up my foot now. So right now my foot's off. So right now I'm wearing street clothes. So with street clothes, I'm probably only about 140 pounds, maybe a little bit over 140 pounds. But let's say 140 pounds. So let's say I'm 140 pounds with street clothes on. 140 pounds with street clothes on, and let's see how much it squatted down. Oh, it didn't squat down much at all. Holy cow, that's hardly anything. You guys see that? That's hardly anything. But then, you know, again, I didn't do that bounce because there's no way for me to actually pull the zip tie back up. Let me do, yeah, that side's millimeters. This side is, so let's do this. Let me start out at the 10 mark. So it's 9 millimeters. I only moved down 9 millimeters. 9 millimeters. If I actually had someone to pull the zip tie back up, if I do the bouncing thing to get rid of the stiction, it'll probably bring it down another, I don't know, 2 or 3 millimeters. Maybe even more. Because remember earlier, before I did that bounce, it was, after I did that bounce, it was 210, right? But before that, it was like 220 or 225 or something like that. So here, I only moved 9 millimeters. Okay. So 9 millimeters, that means it went down to, let's see. Let's read this again. It means, yeah, she went down to 190. Actually, no, it went down more than 10. It went down, excuse me. Yeah, no, it did. Yeah. Actually, right now it's actually reading 1 or 2 at the CO. It's reading 208 instead of 210. Earlier it read 210 when I did the bounce. It's just me sitting on it. It's reading at 190, 199, 199, 190, not 199. What am I saying? Oh yeah, that's right, 199. 199 right here. So it's right there, just under 200. So what was it again? Fully extended, it was 10 to 1/8, which is 250, 258, 258 fully extended. So basically, let's call this right here 98. So that way we could just go by tens. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 60 millimeters. So basically, with me on it, just in street clothes, it went down 60 millimeters. And then this thing's supposed to have a 9.2, which is about right here. So it went down 60 millimeters or so. So that'll be, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about right here. Let's see. This is not very accurate, but you know, that's what I got. And got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just over 70. So let's pull it right down. See if I can keep my hand still. It's 1, 2, 3, a little bit under 4. So a little bit under 4. So that means it's over 25%. So it's close to 30, close to 1/3. So it's actually not too bad. So this front spring is sprung for more weight than the back. Then at least when I'm sitting on it with street clothes. But and again, the thing with bikes, if you look at it from the axle to the axle and where the middle is, right? The midpoint is about. Let's see, the midpoint is right about. Let's see, the midpoint is. I'm gonna say right around where the front brake lever is, or it's even the back brake lever, somewhere around there, maybe slightly ahead of that, maybe where the oil filter is, around there. But where you're sitting is about, the center of where you're sitting is almost a foot, probably maybe 10 inches, 8 inches, 10 inches maybe. Yeah, about 8 or 10 inches back towards the, rearward, back bias. That means when you do sit on it, you're squatting the rear more than you're squatting the front because there's more weight in the rear. So potentially, they are, potentially they are evenly sprung back and forth, front and back. I mean, but obviously most, more weights in the rear because you're sitting more towards the rear. So so in that sense, when you look at it that way, the back is sprung lighter than the front. So the front's actually sprung just a little bit more than the back. Somewhere I did some research. I can't remember where. I think Race Tech is the one that says it. Race Tech is the one that says that the fork was sprung. I can't remember if it was the fork or the shock was sprung for a 100-pound rider weight, or somewhere around there. I'm not sure if they said a 100-pound rider weight or 100-pound. I think it was, they said a sprung for a 100-pound rider. So I interpret that as riding weight. Fully geared up, ready to ride. But I was actually surprised that the front didn't squat down as much as I thought it would. I thought it would squat down a lot more. So that's very interesting. Very, very interesting. And also I have my shock lowered about 9-10 millimeters right here too. Or the fork, the front end lowered by about 9 to 10 millimeters from factory. So that would bias the front weight, the weight in the front a little bit more. Not much, but just a little bit, because it changes that angle, the geometry slightly. So anyways, that's some information out there. So make what you want with it, with that information, and you kind of decide or think about it that way. One thing, a lot of people that ride this bike, that they're pretty heavy. They're like a lot of people are like 200 pounds, way heavier than I am. Clydesdale, in bicycling, we call it Clydesdales. If you're 200 pounds or more. So those folks, they say, oh, the front end, besides the suspension being too soft, they say the dampening on the front is too slow, meaning it rebounds too slow. I don't think that's the case. I think what it is because the spring is so soft for them that it doesn't really want to come back very much. So I think the dampening, I mean, and it does seem kind of slow, but when you do the push down and release test, it feels just about right to me. It doesn't seem like it's slow at all. So in that regards, I think the damping is all right. It's just the spring rate is just too soft for those folks, for those those big folks. For me, I guess the spring rate is it seems to be okay. At least me in street clothes. Maybe in my riding clothes, it would squat down a little bit more. But I don't see it squatting down that much more because in my riding clothes, or my riding gear, I'm about 160 or so. So I'm about 20 pounds more than in street clothes. So 20 pounds is not going to squat it that much. It's probably only going to be a few millimeters. So it should still be right around the 30% sag mark. That's what you want to aim for. You want to aim for about 30%. Give or take a few percentage, but it's usually 30%. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I have to talk about. All right, thanks for watching.